everyone, welcome back to part 2 of me colouring Mariola Budek's little page here from her set of art. If you missed part 1 was me showing how I use alcohol markers without getting them streaky, and then how I blend over the top of the alcohol markers and do the shading with pencil over the top. So we did that in part 1, all the flowers. Just in my own time, I have just put a bit of a pan pastel background in, just nothing hard, just a little tiny touch of colour, and then I've set it with my fixative just so that that's done and it's all fixed in place. So today I'm going to try and get this finished in part 2. I'm going to start with the leaves and then we'll go on to the beautiful girl here in the picture. So I am going to continue using the alcohol markers with pencil over the top for shading. So the green I've picked out for the leaves are the Winsor & Newton Pro Marker Meadow Green. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I picked up a couple of new nail varnishes when I was doing my grocery shop at the supermarket. Need to spruce up my nail varnish collection. It's a really nice one, this one, actually. It's just a bit of randomness for you. So in part 1 I was basically showing how I don't get streaks with the alcohol markers, and that's by working fast and circular motions. I find that works the best. I'm gonna just bring you in a touch. Bring you in or you'll not be able to see what I'm up to. And towards the light. I do need to get another artificial light from the other side of my desk. It does tend to get a shadow on the left hand side at the moment. My kiddies, my two youngest, have finally just dropped off to sleep. I think it's about 9:30 p.m. here now that I'm filming this. So the first couple of days of homeschooling went okay anyway, as good as they can be in this crazy house. Yeah, we did a few worksheets, bit of letter formation with the youngest, bit of phonics and all those crazy apps they make them go on the iPad. So that went well. Now it's the weekend, we can chill for a bit before the next lot of work starts bombarding through. Do this one up here. So I have already picked out the colours that I want to use. I might switch up a bit, but at the minute I've got them all here on the right hand side, as well as my new Posca pen there. So someone commented on my part 1 video of this one, sorry, saying they hadn't seen shading being done over the top of alcohol markers before with just one pencil. Because what I do is I put one shade of alcohol marker down and then I pick a darker shade of pencil and I just use that one pencil colour to go over. I think everyone does it differently, but you know, the way that I do it is really easy for me. It works for me and it's really simple. If you start complicating things too much, sometimes it takes the fun out of it, but it does for me. I don't get much time to colour, so if, you know, I don't always want to be sat there for hours on end. Sometimes I do. the ones at the top, a little bit here missed. Always, I can guarantee there's always something I miss. So move it up while we get these leaves down here now. The skin, when I do the skin with alcohol marker, I probably will end up going over that a couple of times because it will start doing the streaking that I've been on about. Because it's such a large area, it does start drying in areas before you've, you know, finished it, and then that's when the streaking happens. But we shall see. I've just sprayed some perfume that my partner got me for Christmas, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I've never had it before. Normally I get the same couple of perfumes. I sort of rotate between two different ones, but this time we just took a gamble. I think it was in the Black Friday sales, and we both got Hugo Boss for each other, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'll show you the bottle in a second when I've just finished this other leaf, but it smells gorgeous, and it was a brilliant deal when we got it, or when he got it and I got his. It's this one. So the bottle is really, really pretty in itself, but yeah, there, it smells gorgeous. I'm not sponsored, I wish I was. Hugo Boss. But yeah, it's lush. Right, so now that I've done the leaves with the marker pen, I'm now going to get my chosen pencils. I've got two shades because I thought I might do some leaves darker than the others. So I have picked Prismacolor Olive Green, PC911, and Apple Green, PC912. So I'm going to try and move my lamp. Again, it's just causing me a shadow over there. So start off, sorry to spin you round, I need the right angle for me to do this. So get you in over here. So I'm just going to use this one first. So if you didn't see part one, all I do over the top is I start off with a really hard pressure at the base of the leaf, and then I slowly release pressure bit by bit. Slowly releasing pressure bit by bit until you've released it so much that it just blends to the lightest part of the marker pen. That's just how I do it. That's the easiest way for me personally. I know people like to do leaves differently as well. Do this little one. Some of my goodies arrived today as well that I'd ordered with my Christmas money. Oh, I think I'm waiting on one more thing to come, one or two more things, and then I'll be able to show you all. It's exciting. Did anybody else buy the Monarchs after watching my last video? The Black Widow Monarchs that was reduced to £16 on Amazon. I'm glad I snapped them up for that price. It's looking really nice together, those oranges and greens. I've been thinking I'm going to do the butterfly in blue tones, and then I'm going to give her sort of an ashy blonde hair if I can. I always have a visual of a certain blonde in my head and it never goes to plan, but that's sort of what's in my head at the minute. I'm really bad at blonde hair. I need to write some combos down. Watch a few videos, find some combos. Just be careful with this one here that's going through her hair. Don't want to get any green on her skin, or else we'll be turning her into an alien. Which I have done green skin before, but I don't think I'll look quite right on this image. Took you too far up there, right? So as I said in my previous video, the Prismacolors really blend really easily over the top of these marker pens. So much so that you don't need to use a blender pencil. I find. Oh, and I brought that resin plate for mixing watercolours that Debbie made me, that I was talking about in part 1. I brought it upstairs now, so I can show you that in a minute. It's really pretty. She brought that round and dropped it off at my doorstep for Christmas, which was lovely. Nice surprise. Oh, there's a little pen with it as well, I forgot about that. A little resin pen as well. I've got all sorts on this desk today because my eldest daughter's been in here using my desk for a home learning while she's been on the laptop, so it's got all her pencil case here with her pencils in it. It's got some artwork she's been doing. This one behind there, picking it. Still in frame, I am. Because it's my favourite trick, that, going out of shot. Either that or not pressing record. They're my little tricks. Let's have a look at that top section now. That's looking really pretty. I'll show you my resin plate that Debbie did. So this is it. Very beautiful. It's got little petals inside, all different coloured little petals. I think it's got a bit of paint inside it, but they're really pretty, the petals. And that's the back. So I can use this to mix my watercolour paints in and use it as a sort of little palette, which is super cute. And then she did do a little resin pen as well that's got all leftover drills from diamond paintings. I think those what she said they are. So it writes, it's a writable pen. Really, really cute. Really pretty. Right, I'm going to go on to the little leaves at the bottom now. I'm going to sharpen my pencil just a tad. Start over here. Does anybody else do any other crafts apart from colouring? I don't. I have a friend who's really good at knitting and crocheting. She's fantastic. Every time I've tried to do something like that, I can't even hook the first loops on, or whatever it's called. I've tried and tried and tried. And yeah, I'm just pants at it. It's just not for me. I'm like that with my hands though. I'm not very good, like knots as well. I'm never any good at doing knots. Struggled majorly as a child trying to tie my own shoelaces. That took me the longest time to learn how to do that. So I'm just not very good at stuff like that. Do a few leaves here and then we can move on to something else. Just this little leaf. Sharpen that, has gone down really quite a lot. It's the pressing on hard at the beginning. It kills your pencils. There we go. So I think next I'm going to get the skin out the way, because it is quite tricky with alcohol markers. Like I said, you do end up getting a bit of streaking sometimes with it being such a large area. So I'm going to work really quickly, the fastest I can. I may have to go over sections and I'm going to use both ends of the pen as well. Let me check I've got the one that's inked up, because I've got two of these. Should be okay. So I'm using the Winsor Newton Pro marker in Ivory. That dry, I'm going to go in with the base on the hair. I'm going to use the same marker pens again. This time I'm going to use Buttercup. that's all the hair, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to go in on the skin now and do some shading over the top. So I have just picked out some peaches. I've picked out a cinnamon colour in the Polychromos to put some blush in a cheek under her eye area. But I think, oh, and I've got, I think it was the, was it the Dick Van Dyke Brown? Ignore my rude words, what are coming out my mouth. The Van Dyke Brown, is that the colour I wanted? No, that's too dark. It must have been the Bista. Yeah, I'm going to use the Bista, the Polychromos Bista 179 for the darker areas. I'm just going to do those first and the little bits up here. So we'll just put the shading in with that. I'm not the best at skin, not by a long stretch, but, and I do tend to do it differently as well. Each time I come to a picture, I do it differently. I mix colours up. I don't write down what I use, and I really should do. So I'll deepen this bit up here. I'm being really subtle with this shading because you can always deepen it up. It's harder to start taking things away if you put too much on. Same with everything, that, isn't it? That's a shadow from the leaf on her head there. And from the flower, really little tiny one. A bit in her eyes. Sometimes I might not do this over the shading, sometimes I might just leave it, but it is nice to go in with a little bit of something. And a bit on the neck. So I think I'm going to get this page done, and then I think I'm going to take the weekend to just chill out for a bit with my other half. I don't think we've sat down and watched a film or anything like that in quite a while. So yeah, it'd be nice to spend a bit of time together. If anyone's got any recommendations for anything on the TV at the minute, let me know. I know Debbie was telling me something, I forgot what it's called. She did message me. Something she was watching. You'll have to remind me, Debbie, if you're watching, what it was called, because I forgot. But I do quite like watching things like supernatural programs, like witches and, you know, sort of programs like that. Vampires. Love vampire movies. My shot still. Right. Do the shoulder bit. I think I've just missed the shading on her nose as well. I'll have to go back up there. Yeah, let's go back into her nose. Just do a little, don't want it to be too dark, but just put a little touch of something over the top of where it's showing you where the shading is. And a bit under the lips. Now, don't want to fill in the bridge of a nose. I don't want to leave it. Don't want to risk it. No, we're going to leave it today. Gonna leave it. Right, I'm just going to use the Polychromos Cinnamon 189 to put a bit of colours under her eyes, around the cheek area. Yeah, I just really, when it comes to skin, I really do wing it. Like, I don't like to put anything too harsh down, too dark down, because I'm really not the most confident with it. I think I did one dark skin tone that I was proud of in the Annie Stagg colouring book, the Moonlit Veil. I did one darker skin tone in there that was really nice, but it was a small image, it wasn't such a large area. I'm just building it up to a sort of a nice blush that I want. Darker at the edges, fading out towards the middle. So she looks a bit rosy. Both these sets of pencils go really nicely on this paper. They're really laying down really nice. Don't know how well it's picking it up on camera with my only doing light layers here, but it's really looking smooth with how it's laying down. I will be blending this all out with some sort of blending pencil shortly. I'm going to bring this down here a little touch. Because she's looking like she's got some nice colour in her cheeks now. I'm going to use the Prismacolor Peach PC939 to just darken up some areas on the forehead. The light peach now. I'll just bring you out a bit so you can see a bit more of everything that's going on at the minute. So I don't know if it's showing up on camera just how rosy she is. Might be washing out a bit, but I'm just going to use the light peach now to go over everything down the centre of the nose, just to blend it all out a bit. The skin done. So next I am just gonna go for the hair. So I'm going to use a mix of colours over the top of that blonde to sort of make it into a mousy brown, sort of an ash blonde mousy brown shade. So I am going to use the Polychromos Bista. I'm going to use the Polychromos Cream, and I'm going to use a little bit of the Van Dyke Brown. So 3 Polychromos colours, because of the, hopefully I'll get a better hair stroke with these, with them being a harder lead pencil. So I'm just going to make them really sharp. So I'm just going to really lightly go over some of these areas with the cream. Just to deepen some of it a little bit. Definitely need to deepen it up here. Move her up a little bit. Deepen some of this up. Don't need to be super careful with this bit or anything, it doesn't show up, it barely shows up. All I'm doing is deepening the colour a little bit. Deepening it and evening it out. So that's that. So I'm going to go in next with the deeper shade of the two browns, which is the Van Dyke Brown, and I'm just going to go over all the darker areas that have already been put in, all the grayscale areas. So we'll start up here and just do a little flicking motion over these little lines here. I'm not going to do too much with the hair, I don't think. Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes I go to town, sometimes I just do a little bit here and there. But I am only using the 3 shades of colour. I can hear my daughter playing the little keyboard thing in a bedroom. My eldest, that is. Just little minute when I get this side. So after I've finished this one, what artist or what book would you like to see me do a colouring chat in? Or should I put a poll up again on my community tab? Let me know in the comments which artist or book you might like me to see. You might like to see me do a page from. If I've got the book, I'll by all means do it. There. I'm really loving the colours on this page. It's not really a colour palette that I normally go for, but I'm really liking it. A little bit in here. And move it up, and then we can get the bottom bits. This Bista is a lovely one for doing hair. So how are you all entertaining yourselves anyway? At the minute, have you been spending too much money on Amazon? Oh dear. I think I've just spent my Christmas money now, so I think that's going to be it for a while. Going to try and redecorate the entire house as soon as we can. Which will be nice, and hope the toddlers don't wreck it this time. Just going to sharpen my pencil a little bit. Yeah, the kids have always been at that stage where they're picking at your walls, they're drawing on it with pen. Oh, we just seem to have been stuck in that stage forever. So we didn't even bother repainting the walls, because every time we do, turn your back for a second and there's pen all up it. So hopefully I get the toddlers out of this stage. Well, I say toddlers, ones that just started primary school. Get them out of this silliness stage of wrecking the walls, and hopefully it'll remain nice once we decorate. Or I can just hope that it will. yeah, if you've got any good colour combos for skin or hair, definitely drop them in a comment down below for me. Be really interested to see those. Whatever pencils, it doesn't matter. I might have them, I might not, but it'd be nice to find out. Right, so that was the darkest shade, so I'm just going to go in with, oh, that wasn't Bista, was it? I'm saying, oh, this Bista's really nice, and I wasn't even using the Bista. I was using Damn White Brown. Oh dear. Can you tell it's late? This is why I shouldn't film late at night. My brain goes to pot. Right, now I'm using Bista. Oh look, what a lovely colour. Oh dear. Right, so I'm just gonna use the Bista to drag and blend some of this colour out now in towards the centre. Oh dear me. Kirsty, go to bed. Go to bed. Tell you, if I wasn't colouring though, I'd be lying in bed. I wouldn't be asleep. I'd be lying there just scrolling my phone. Anything but going to sleep is what I would be doing. So, yeah. No point me getting in bed. Deary me. Right, I'm just going to go into this middle section here because it's a bit too stark, if that makes sense. It's like someone's bleached her roots. Just blend that into the middle. It is a really nice delicate shade for over blonde, this Bista though, it really is. Keeping a sharp pencil is key to hair strokes as well. Gonna go on to this side. Oh, can hear emergency vehicle going past. That's the first one in a while. Sharpen my pencil again. we've just got the butterfly, the top. I'm going to do a top, a really nice lilac shade, similar to the pan pastel background. And her eyes and lips as well. Don't forget her eyes and lips. Just the last little bit at the bottom there. You can see that I'm not very careful with her. Very quick strokes. Deepen up some of the edges right in the corners. You can just spend ages sat here just tweaking hair. Does anybody else find it therapeutic though? Is it therapeutic to watch? Let me just get my little thing off my phone that's flashing up. There we go. A little bit more at the top. I'm not even in frame, am I? I'm going to do a little bit more at the top and then we're done. on the hair, that is. I am quite a slow colourist actually, compared to some people, I think, I've noticed. So I'm really pleased with how that's turned out actually. I really do think that's quite pretty. I'm just looking. What have I rubbed on its face with my hand? What has rubbed off my hand onto there? Can you see? On the skin. Oh, I'm going to have to rub that off and go over it. I don't know what's transferred from my hand when I've been doing the hair. But we don't want that. I wonder where my eraser is, my proper one. I'll have to erase it and go back over it. I can't. I wonder if my kneadable eraser will get that off a bit easier. Let's have a see. Let me just clean it off at the side of me. Right, let's have a bash. I'll have to go back over it, guys, but not to worry. Don't know how that's happened. There must have been something transferring off my hand. These kneadable erasers are really, really good though. Really good. Really cheap as well. I think it's about £2 for that. It's a Faber-Castell one. But yeah, let me see what's on the side of my hand transferring on my page. Don't want that to happen again. The skin was looking so beautiful. Let's see if there's any down here. What's come on? Yeah, I have no clue what that is. But I've got it off now anyway. We've got it off. All's well, unless I do it again. Right, so I'm thinking I'm going to go in and do the butterfly and then we'll do the facial features last. So I have picked out a Winsor & Newton Pro Marker Arctic Blue. Use 2 shades of pencil on this one, on the butterfly. I'm going to use Prismacolor True Blue PC903 and I'm going to use Prismacolor Ultramarine 902. So what to do on this one? I think, yeah, we'll go for lighter at the front wings and darker at a bit at the back. And then we might have to blend this with the titanium buff a little bit. Get a bit darker down here. There we go. I'm actually going to use this same colour for the top bit. Change my mind. Just press on a bit harsher. Just deepening all this up now. Beautiful. I'm going to go over that because I will go in with the detail with the white gel pen in a little bit. Beautiful. Just going to buff out some of the corners on it where the white meets the blue with my tiny pencil that is really hard to colour with now. I need to get myself one of those little holders that you put the pencil in. I keep saying it and not ordering them. There we go. So I will go in with a little bit of gel pen on the bottom of the butterfly after, but I'm just going to do the face details first. So I'm going to get my Bista back because I'm going to do her eyebrows with the Bista, I think. Maybe a couple of strokes of the Van Dyke brown through it a little bit as well. I'm actually going to start off here really lightly. You don't want anything harsh at the beginning of the brows. Further down is where you could possibly add some of the Van Dyke brown at the ends where it's darkening off. That's that one. Do this side in the same colour first. Do a little baby hair there sticking out. I like to do that sometimes. Right, we'll get a little bit of the Van Dyke brown now. I'll just sharpen it to a really sharp point. And I'll put a few of these little hairs towards the end. Just random dark ones. Little one there. And again on this side. Get the darker ones at the end. That's that one. Right, I've picked out a few colours for the eyes. I'm going to go for a brown eye. I think it'll really go nice well with the hair. Or should I do a blue eye? No, go with brown. I've already picked the colours out. So I'm going to do the area around the outsides of the eyes first. So I'm going to go in with a little tiny bit of Prismacolor Rose PC929. I'm just going to put a really small amount in the corners of the eyes. Really little bit there. And then I'm just going to use my Arteza grey for this one. It's Concrete Grey A157, and I'm just going to put a real tiny amount, really lightly, just next to the pink. just as a sort of bit of a shadow. And I am going to use the Holbein Peach just to go along this lash line really, really loosely, really lightly. Right, go in with the eyes now. I have picked some colours out. I did think I would do brown with a sort of hint of green in, so they're like a sort of hazel coloured eyes. So I'm going to go in with the green first. Just going to put a hint of green round. This is Arteza Pear Green, A100 that I've used there. And then I'm going to go around the outside with the brown. That's really popping, that colour. Oh, really popping. So I'm going to use the light umber first, the Prismacolor Light Umber PC941, to just darken up a little bit. So just gradually pulling a bit of the colour into the centre. And then around the edges of the eye, I'm using a dark brown. This one's PC946. So I'm just going to almost shape out the eyeball. I sometimes do this with a black pencil, but I feel that that would be, I don't know, too harsh sometimes. Got that in there. I'm next going to get my black, my PC935 black, and I'm just going to deepen up the iris. I am going to keep the highlight that they've put in there, but I will be going over that to brighten it with a Arteza white gel pen as well. I'm going to darken up the black bits around the eye and put the lashes in a bit darker as well. So be really careful around here. Just be really careful when you're doing the black parts if you choose to do this. You might not choose to do it, but if you do, just be wary. So I'll just do the black bit on this side and then I'll go in with the lashes. Just a bit of darkness there, easing off towards the middle. Right, so now I'm going to put the lashes in. Using flicking motions. The key is a really sharp pencil again, with anything that you're going to use a flicking motion. I'm going to turn myself around so I'm at the right angle that I want to be at. A little bit down here. she says. Can lash happy. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to go and do the lips. So I'm going to firstly put a base of Polychromos, no, not Polychromos, where's my Prismacolor? Prismacolor Peach. I'm going to put a base of this on. I'm going to leave the highlighted area a little bit. So I'm going to do her a bit of a nude lip. Going with a little bit more depth. So I'm going to go in with the Polychromos Coral 131 to just deepen or make bits a bit pinker. That's that. Gonna go in the center with my titanium buff, where I've left a little highlight just to blend it all out. That's that. Now the last thing to do is just to fill in a little dress area here with a nice lilac shade of alcohol marker that I found. So I'm going to be using this one, it's Orchid. That's gone on really nice with the background. So I'm just going to set her eyes off with the highlights and the white gel pen or Posca pen. I'll try out the new Posca pen. And then I'm just going to go along the lash line with this, just to give her a bit of a highlight there. Just dab it off at the end. A little bit on the lip, just as an extra. A little bit. Bit on the butterfly. Some of these little things. I'm going to do random ones, I'm not going to do them all. Few little dots here and there. I think I will pan you out. So that's it complete. So as you can see, it's a very mixed media page. I've used all different brands of pencils, alcohol markers, gel pens. But yeah, I really like how that's turned out. She's really pretty. Yeah, so do drop me a comment if there's anything else you want me to colour in, if there's a particular book, a particular artist that you'd like to see me doing my next colouring chat in. Drop me a comment if you've got any good skin combos, hair combos, whatever pencil it is. Drop it down below. I am looking for ideas. Thanks guys, you're the best.